How we doing, boys and girls? We're live, aren't we? Here we go. I'm not naked. I do have shorts on, but it's so hot. What a wonderful, glorious day. And hello, Prash, let's give you a call. Hello, mate. Can you hear me, Prash? Are you there? Come on, Ad. How are you doing? So, now I'm bringing Cash on camera. There you go. I brought you on camera. There you go. Oh, you're looking very serene and peaceful and hippie-ish. Where are you, young
I'm
Master
in a serene
Prash?
place. I'm in a serene place. That's what I got on right now.
Hello, Nicola Gear, Mo Ali. I can't see because it's so sunny. It's so lovely, this weather. I often wonder, getting all heavy and spiritual like I do occasionally. This is, I don't want to say God. I'm going to say God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. This is magic when you can just take time out, do nothing, and just enjoy Mother Earth.
It is the joy.
Why am I saying all this? Because I've been very stressed lately. Hey, Mo. Sarah Davidson, what do you know? Kerry, yo. I've been so stressed. And, you know, my default set mechanism when I'm stressed is to push harder. And do we know about yin and yang? Yang is more masculine, yin is more feminine. I go more alpha. I'm like, come on, let's attack. And something's got to give. It's called burnout, adrenal fatigue, feel ill. I feel a bit run down now. And I want to train harder when I've got stress because it makes you feel good. But there is a law of diminishing returns. If you go too much, not good, you start getting more ill. And then more coffee, more stimulants. Come on, you get lower. So I've actually I haven't trained for nearly a week. Well, no, 5 days, and that's my biggest drug, training. My endorphins, my serotonin. Andy Maguire, my mate from Panto. I was watching Andy earlier on. He was doing the splits. He's a fit man, lives life in the fast lane. So when you live life in the fast lane, you sometimes need to slow down. Otherwise, it's burnout time. I love you too, man. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? So, mate, what I was going to say, Prash, I have been reaping the rewards because I'm starting to finally feel better. And I don't feel there's been a nagging thing in the morning. I've got to go to the gym. I've got to go and train. I've got to go and do this. I'm like, there you go. You've trained. You've worked so hard. Your body will reap more reward from doing nothing. Well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm doing paperwork and I'm being creative with my mind, but I'm not physically pushing myself. And it's lovely.
It's a great feeling, right? And
Hello,
it's
Pamela.
great.
Lee.
And it's great. And Alex, let me just say, it's great that you're embracing this side because the tendency to accomplish for a lot of people is their safety blanket. You think you're doing the right thing for yourself, but actually it's a safety blanket. And it's your go-to just to try and distract yourself from looking after yourself. And you know what they say on the airplane, right, Alex? You know it. And folks, if you're listening, you know what they say. In the event of an emergency, take the oxygen mask. And what do they say? Put your own oxygen mask on first before putting on somebody else's oxygen mask. And that is exactly what the theme of self-care is. And that is what the message of self-care is right here. We've got to give to ourselves first before we can give back. And sometimes that means we've got to put our own oxygen mask. It's what you're doing right now with this beaming, summery glow on your face, kind of just looking serene, recognizing that sometimes the very thing that you need to do is actually not what you need to do because it's going to distract you from self-care.
Do you know,
and that's what it's about.
Birthday, Prash, it was my birthday. Oh, blimey, a month ago. God, blimey. And
yeah, it's been a while.
On your birthday, you feel like I generally, I need to do something to go out and celebrate. And didn't want to. Me and the missus, we planned to go and do stuff. And we'd woke up and I thought, it was a lovely day. And we did pretty much what I'm doing today. Nothing. We just enjoyed the sunshine and just laid around. And I thought, I kind of was a bit of an anticlimax because in my mind, I was thinking I should be doing stuff. It's my birthday. I should be going out seeing people and having a drink.
Yeah.
Or we didn't do anything. And that was lovely. Nothing. Didn't even go. We got. I don't think we even had a takeaway. We just rustled up some leftovers from the fridge because we were so knackered. And I'm like, And it's just the thing, because the thing that is our biggest challenge is ourselves. Turning ourselves off.
Right there. Yeah, totally. And I love what Kurt's saying here. Kurt's joined in. He says, keep some in the barrel after you've given some to others. I think that's absolutely true. But Kurt, let me just switch it on the head. Let's just flip that on the head. Sometimes you got to give some to yourself first before you share that barrel with other people, right? So you take the sip of water first from that bottle. When you're in a desert and you're starving and you're thirsty, give it to yourself first before you give it to the other passengers, before you give it to your other travelers. And sometimes that's what it's going to be. And it's not easy, right? Yes, we know. A lot of the coaching clients that I deal with are family members. They are parents. They do have kids. They can't just shun their responsibilities and give time to themselves. But the very thing that they care about is the very thing that gets hurt if they don't give time to themselves. They can't be a good mom. You can't be as good a mom, a good dad, a good lover, a good husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend if you're not filling your own tank, if you're not giving your time. And can I just say, that doesn't just mean sitting and having a few brews and watching TV and switching off that way. It has to be something a little bit more deeper. It can be simpler but more profound. What do you think, Alex? What's your switch off?
There's a dichotomy there I have, because there could be that time where you think, sorry, I just want to escape reality. And I want to have a few brews and get a bit drunk and just turn off. And I'm like, is that
right?
Do you allow yourself to do that? I mean, ideally, that's not really great for your health. And then you end up the next day with a hangover and you're a bit behind because you're tired and you're achy. But there's like a double entendre. I haven't got the right word. There's positives and there's negatives to that. Yeah, you've allowed yourself to escape reality and you feel like, you're living life so you don't feel a prisoner to your life. But then at the same time, you've created more stress for yourself. So I'm like, what's your opinion on that? Because we all do things that aren't necessarily healthy for us. And you know you shouldn't do them. But when you do them, you actually get joy and pleasure and relaxation. But then afterwards, you feel bad about it.
Yeah, and I think that's where you got to become more mindful. Big shout out to Ush, my good friend from Australia, who's joined in, an EQ expert. She's an expert in emotional intelligence. So let me read a passage from her coaching strategy, which I think applies very much here. Sometimes there are things that you love doing, and there are other things that you love doing, and you have to make a choice. Now, if you pick the thing that as you say, you've picked something that you really love doing because it gives you some kind of joy. But afterwards you kind of feel terrible because you missed out on something else. You need to insert a fire break there. And in coaching, we call that a fire break. That means that you've got to, before you go into watching that movie or that TV series or going out here with your mates for a couple of drinks at night or whatever it is you're going to do, that thing, you got to ask yourself this one question. If I do this right now, what is the impact going to be for the other stuff that I got on my plate? What is the impact going to be? Is there going to be pain at the end of this? Sometimes you just got to insert that fire break and ask, is this going to be helpful with everything else I've got to go on? And is this going to leave me depleted? And if you're not getting the right vibe, the problem is a lot of people aren't even asking that question. They're running off on their instinct and they're going. Instead of being emotionally aware and emotionally accountable, they're just letting their emotions run amok and say, no, I've got to go that. They're instincts, right? Your innate tendencies to want to have a drink, want to do this, want to do that. But sometimes you've got to slow down and ask, before I indulge in this, is this going to be beneficial to me in light of everything else I got to go on? And if you're not getting the right kind of answer, if you're not feeling that right vibe, and a lot of this is feeling, if you're not feeling that right vibe, then you got to step back and maybe don't do that.
But what I was going to say, and I totally get that, because I'm spiritually adept and aware enough of my being to know, like, you shouldn't do this is bad for you. But you think, do you know what? I know I'm paying for this, and I'm okay with paying for this. I'm going to feel shitty for a few days. I'm still going to do it. And is that irresponsible?
Yeah, It is irresponsible, and it's a sign. I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad. I'm saying this because sometimes you got to call out a thing as it is, right? And own it. If you're going to be irresponsible, own it and say, I'm going to be irresponsible. I'm going to feel shitty, and I'm going to live with the consequences. If you then find 2-3 days, 2-3 hours down the line that you actually don't like the feeling, the consequence that you're getting, you don't like the feeling of that consequence or the impact of that consequence, then hopefully you can own that. And next time you won't do that same thing again. But it comes back to owning it, right? If you're going to be it, fine, do it. Or recognize that, look, I'm going to be shitty and I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time or money or resources over here. It's not going to help me. Maybe I need to think of something else. I'll tell you a simple thing. Sometimes it's great just to have somebody who's on your side, a friend, a family member, somebody around you who's able to hold you accountable, where you openly tell them beforehand, listen, sometimes, I have this tendency over here to do X, Y, Z. Well, if I do, can you call me out on it? Then it's up to you if you listen to them or not. But at least you got somebody, an accountability buddy, who's going to help call you out on it.
Let me explain why I'm talking about this. Listen, I mean, it's obvious. It's not probably obvious. I've taken drugs in my past, recreational drugs, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. But as I've got older, I've realised they have such a negative impact on me. So I've not wanted to do those things because, like you said, I've got a bigger picture of what I want. I'm more addicted to success. Now, I literally just had a conversation with my 78-year-old mother about 10 minutes before we came on. And it's like she's a drug addict to sugar. And she just had, and I said, and I know, and it absolutely pains me. I know I've been talking in riddles. It's like I've been talking about, people think I'm talking about hardcore drugs. Sugar is a hardcore drug. She had 5 cream cakes and she's feeling terrible. Look at today. What a lovely, beautiful day. And she's shivering and cold inside. My brother said, why did she eat them? She's got no control. And I'm like, Mum, you have to realize, I want you to live a bit longer. And she's an older lady, and she has full, I can't tell her what to do. But as someone who loves her, I'm trying to save her. Come on, Mum. Yeah, and I know the error. And listen, I'm not perfect by any means. There might be a time when I want to go and have a big drink and go on a bender, but I want that less and less. This has no appeal to me because of I like to feel healthy. And I know the consequences. Yeah, you're going to feel good for a bit, like those cream cakes. The instant you have a cream cake with all that sugar,
totally,
serotonin, dopamine, wow. And you have another one, and she doesn't have the off button. And now she's feeling like crap. She's going to the toilet, she's shivering, and it's literally killing her. And I wrote an article for the Huffington Post about sugar and cocaine, and my deductions were sugar is more dangerous than cocaine. I'm not advocating cocaine by any means. My point is it's socially acceptable.
No, I think it makes a lot. I think that's another thing that people have to be really aware of. So it kind of comes back down to this whole thing about being mindful, and then it comes back a lot down to making these choices. I think I love what Jennifer said.
I've lost you, Prash. Can't hear you. You're back.
For me, I love what she says. Jenny says, for me, it's a case of Friday night, Jenny says. Everyone's going out, and I love a swim. That's what I'm talking about. This is Jenny being unorthodox. She's like, okay, well, you guys go out for a beer or a drink. I'm going to go for a swim. And sometimes I think there's a lot to be said about listening to your inner self and not going with the crowd. Even though the crowd are your mates, even though the crowd are your family, when you lost your own voice, that means you've given control of your decision-making power to society and the people around you. Instead of people being positive influences and helping you make a decision, they become the people who override your own mind. Even if they don't mean it. That's the thing. Even if they don't mean it, this happens.
But what about when the crowd is marketing, adverts, television, the factory, the pharmaceutical, the food industry, which puts the cream cakes in a lovely box. Oh, look at me. Come and eat me. I'm delicious. Look at me. I've got sparkly writing on the packaging. I'm going to taste great in your mouth. And there's nobody else. There's not a peer pressure from your friends and family, but there is an outside influence of the food industry saying, come and eat me.
Totally. And I totally, there is. And again, it comes down to your why. I think if your why is at that moment, if that drink or that piece of sugary food feels more important than your why, then you're going to succumb. Then you're going to just give in. But if your why is strong enough, like let's give an example. Let's say that you go, okay, I'm not going to eat this stuff over here because I'm going to go to this event over here and I want to look like $1,000,000. I really want to look good. If I eat all this stuff over here, then in a week's time, I'm going to feel bloated. I'm not going to feel good. Now, if that why, that reason for you to look good and feel great at that event is stronger, then you're not going to indulge in that cake. You're going to have the self-determination.
Hey.
You're going to do that.
But
Alex, I'm mindful of time.
People don't have goals, though. That's the thing. People don't. My mum doesn't have a goal, and I'm trying to say, come on, mum. I just want you to live a bit longer. Listen, totally. I know all about dieting, and I know there's that saying, nothing tastes as great as skinny feels. Now, I'm not trying to encourage eating disorders or anything like that. And I've got a lady I'm training at the moment on something called the Cambridge diet, which I don't think is healthy. There is a time for a crash diet, but it's not sustainable and it's not long term. It's a very short measure you would use. And I promote healthy living because I have goals. Yeah, there is a time when I do fasting. Intermittent fasting is brilliant. There's all sorts of us. Many religions use it around the world. But there's a purpose for that because it makes you live longer and it feels healthier. Or ultimately, you might want to look good for a wedding, for a photo shoot, to go to the beach.
I think that's when it does, you know, and that's where, and Alex, I think a lot of those habits can be changed by a mindset shift. And obviously, maybe now's a good time. That's kind of what we're going to be doing in Hungary. It's about helping people to train their mindset as well as their body. Alex, did you want to share a couple of words? You know what we're doing.
We really
and folks,
are.
For those of you who've tuned in.
We really are what we eat, what we put in our mouths. And it's so important, and not just in our mouths, in our minds. So we become what we say. We literally create magic, spells, spelling. What we say goes out of our mouth and comes back.
And so 17th to the 20th.
Our mouth and comes back into us. So we need to be very careful about what we say. And this is what we're going to be covering in our retreat from the 17th to the 20th of September next month. We're going to have fantastic avant-garde vegan food, which is specifically designed to
nourish you from the inside,
re-energize, rejuvenate our bodies, our minds, and our spirit. And that's what we're doing: a mind, body, and spirit rejuvenating retreat. Please come and join us.
We're going to be out there. All the details will be here on the link. I'll share the link here, but we'll be out. You are absolutely welcome to experience serene, pristine countryside with gorgeous luxury accommodation in the heart of Hungary, a place where nobody has ventured. Southern Hungary, there is a 300-acre valley where there's a luxury resort, and we're going to be staying there. So you are absolutely welcome to join us. Check the link below. We'll add it in. Alex, that's me done here, buddy.